Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, and today I decided to take a look at sort of a revised Mega Tier 2 guide, but this time, rather than just listing off like the top 10 characters to Mega Tier 2, I wanted to go a step further. The other reason, partially why I wanted to do this, is I've gotten a lot of questions now lately about who to Mega Tier 2 for two reasons. For one reason, we got the Cosmic Core event, and quite a few people got unlucky, unfortunately, but on the other hand, fortunately, a lot of people did get lucky and they pulled at least one Mega Tier 2 ticket, either in their free rerolls or using crystals to reroll. So I wanted to also advise those people on who they should be either using their Mega Tier 2 on or saving their Mega Tier 2 in the future for. Additionally, it seems as though lately, you know, the last couple of, I guess just last update and this update, so not that much time, but the last update and this update have introduced a lot of new characters or uniforms for existing characters who are all falling within the, like, you can and maybe should Mega Tier 2 side of things. You'll see what I'm saying. So basically, here's what I made. I made a tier list, of course. This is the Mega Tier 2 tier list. Wow, yes, I know. Hold your applause until the end, people. I love spreadsheets. And so basically, there are two sides to this Mega Tier 2 list. You can read the list from left to right in terms of most importance on the left, with things like Premium and OP. OP stands for overpowered, and then all the way over just to Bioprocessor. Generally speaking, those characters aren't as good, or they're just easier to get through, you know, either the bioprocessor means or other means. But anyways, there are a lot of characters still missing. As you can see, we have 200 characters in the game, but here we only have like 40 something characters, 45 characters, something like that. So there's obviously a lot missing here. So if you scroll over to the other side, you will see sort of the barren wasteland of what you shouldn't be using your Mega Tier 2 on. And there's actually 3 categories. So I'll explain them really quickly, but it pretty much goes as you'd think. Easy to farm. So these characters, they might be very good characters like Captain America. Man, everyone's talking about Captain America, so you're a new player, you join, you're like, man, I gotta get Captain America Tier 2 ASAP. Oh man, I gotta get Iron Man Tier 2 ASAP. But they're way too easy to farm. Do not, it's usually a waste. That's why I put this gray bar here. It's usually a waste to Tier 2 these. And actually, I'm thinking Sharon Rogers, I should just move her over here to the can't Mega Tier 2 category, because it would be a tragedy for someone to get her at 6 stars from the Shield Lab, the Shield Academy, and then accidentally, I don't know how you'd have to be like a mega whale, but anyways, accidentally get her to Tier 2 with a Mega Tier 2 ticket. That would be like the most colossal waste of resources ever. But anyways, they're too easy to farm. You should probably, you know, 99 times out of 100, you should not use a Mega Tier 2 ticket on these characters. 100 times out of 100, you should not use a Mega Tier 2 on these characters because they're a huge mistake. They're basically garbage characters. They're very weak, and or they're extremely easy to farm. They have dedicated missions that you just spend energy to farm, or you can get them through biometric selectors, and you can get very easily 225 biometric selectors per week. So in 3 weeks, you can have one of these characters to Tier 2. Another couple of weeks, boom, or sorry, 6 stars. Another couple of weeks, boom, you can have them Tier 2. It's just way easier to do it that way than to ever use a Mega Tier 2 ticket on them. And then finally, we have the can't Mega Tier 2 list. I still get these questions, believe it or not. Hey, Cynicalex, I just unlocked Cable at 1 star. Should I use 1 star? Should I use my Mega Tier 2 on him? You can't. If you could, yeah, that'd be a great idea. Characters like Thanos, characters like Scarlet Witch, yeah, it'd be an awesome idea to Mega Tier 2 them. Unfortunately, you cannot Mega Tier 2 them. So with that out of the way, with all of the characters out of the way that you should not, or never, you should never Mega Tier 2. Now let's get into the characters that you should consider. These are characters that I would say you should consider Mega Tier 2ing. They are not only ranked in terms of left to right, these being the best characters to Mega Tier 2, and these being probably the worst characters to Mega Tier 2. They are also ranked in terms of their rarity, in the sense that these 3 characters are these 3 lists of characters are extremely difficult to get, whereas these 3 are easier to get. And then they are also ranked from top to bottom. So I think Luna Snow is a little bit better than Namor. It's very close in this case, but that's what I think. On the other hand, I think Juggernaut is fantastic, and I think Killmonger is pretty trash, and so is Carnage. So that's also how it goes. Obviously, Wave is at the bottom here of these crystal cost characters. She's a heroic quest character, but that still costs crystals. And then Emma Frost is probably the best crystal cost character in the game. There's not too much space, so there's not too much of a gap between first, second, and third, and maybe fourth in a lot of these cases. So I wouldn't get too pressed. You know, if you really disagree with me that Weapon Hex is worse than Gambit, that's okay. It doesn't really matter. But you know, if you're jumping multiple rows, like if you're gonna say Jubilee's better than Magic or Rescue, that's just not happening. Sorry. If you're jumping up more than too many spaces, then you should probably you should really consider that, because I did put some logic and some thought into that. So yeah, the rest of the icons you'll recognize from the other tier list. I didn't really have much information to put in here that was new, so I decided to just keep the information that was existing. I did remove a couple of them just to make them easier to fit in, like Ancient One. I removed one of their icons, but no one's gonna go over to Ancient One on this list, guys, so don't worry about that. And then I put this golden rule at the top here. So just so that you guys remember, always, you can Mega Tier 2 ticket, you can use a Mega Tier 2 ticket, and you can Mega Tier 2 a character as soon as they are level 1, 6 stars, 0 mastery, level 5 gears. You don't have to upgrade their mastery, you don't have to get them to level 60, you don't have to upgrade their gears, you don't have to equip an obelisk, you don't have to roll an ISO 8 set, nothing. They are as close to a blank slate character as you can get, except they're 6 stars. That's it. That's basically the only prerequisite that you have to meet, is that they have to already be a 6-star hero. So you can consider it a bit of a waste if I had a level 60, 6-star, full mastery, 15 gear Gambit tier 1. It's a bit of a waste to use the Mega Tier 2 ticket on him, as opposed to having a 6-star level 1 blank Weapon Hex and using the Mega Tier 2 on her. So there is a little bit of efficiency involved as well. And then I also said my second golden rule, and this one's a little bit less well known, so I like to repeat it as often as possible. If an update is close, which in this case it is very close, guys, and my example here is 1 to 2 weeks, save your Mega Tier 2 ticket and see who comes out next. Now, this is a particularly important thing to say for this update, and this is why I also wanted to make this video, because we have so many characters coming that if you don't already have them at Tier 2, they might be worth a Mega Tier 2 ticket after this. So in the very most obvious sense, in the biggest sense, Luna Snow. If you don't have Luna Snow at Tier 2 now, her uniform might make her one of the best characters in the game, and she's already pretty close to being one of the best characters in the game. She basically has no value in PvP, but this uniform might change that, which is pretty scary. So yeah, giving her a Mega Tier 2 ticket it makes sense now. It might be, you know, your top priority in a couple of weeks or however many days when the update lands. Same thing goes for, well, not same thing, but similar ideas for Crescent and White Fox. They're both rare characters to get, and I know a lot of you have Crescent only at 6 stars because of that Crescent event battle where you could get all those extra rewards by going through the battles with your 5-star or 6-star Crescent, and so you'll be asking this question now. Is she good enough for a Mega Tier 2? So if you can see on this list right now, she's probably not. She's not even in the top 10. And again, I don't really rank after the top 10 because from there, if you're considering Mega Tier 2ing these characters, you got a lot of Mega Tier 2 tickets, buddy. You got a lot of cash. You're throwing a lot of money at this game. So that's really something that you should decide on a personal level. If you're a huge Kid Kaiju fan, if you're a huge Quasar fan, maybe you love the thickness, sure, go ahead and Mega Tier 2 ticket them, you know. You make enough money where it's not really an issue. But she might become amazing. Crescent might get a rework and become godly. It's likely, I would say it's likely that she becomes very, very good because 2 reasons. One, she's a premium character, and Netmarble wants to sell more premium characters, so they don't want to make more Ironhearts and more Nadia Van Dynes and more Carnages. They don't want these types of characters that are bad and that everyone in the community says, don't get them. Just skip them. You don't want that, obviously. And secondly, she's an original character. So when people see her and they say, "Oh wow, this game looks cool. There's like stands and stand users. I want to try this game because of Crescent." And then they go into the game and Crescent is a terrible character. How would you feel if you pick up Kingdom Hearts and you go to play with the guy with the Keyblade and he's terrible and he's on the cover of the game? You're like, what gives? I don't want to play this game anymore. This is dumb. Why are the you know, advertised characters so garbage, at least for these updates. It's not always Crescent that's on the cover of the game. Marvel Future Fight's not like a, you know, a game with a cover, but you kind of get what I'm saying, right? These are the original characters, so when you search Marvel Future Fight, you're going to obviously get a lot of the most popular updates, but you might also get some of the original characters that have tie-ins to comics, like Luna, Sharon, Crescent, White Fox, etc. So that's also why I bolded White Fox. Again, not as strong, but also a more expensive or a more complicated character to get. It's like a prolonged quest that requires a whole month of your time, and so monitoring how good she gets and then considering whether to use a Mega Tier 2 ticket on her is important. Now I want to talk briefly about basically everything beyond this realm, because for these three it's really obvious why you would use a Mega Tier 2 ticket on these characters. I mean, even the bad ones here, you can't get their biometrics unless you spend money, unless you spend $10 on a new biometric or X-Gene subscription. So it just makes sense. Okay, yeah, I understand that, Cynicalex. But so what are you talking about over here? Why are these ranked this way? Well, here's the thing. You do get quite a lot of crystals from login events, check-in events, and just playing the game, but there are a lot of different things in the game that require your crystals. And note, for crystal cost, I didn't put Magneto, Psylocke, or Invisible Woman here because they are easy to farm. Because you get 20 biometrics of theirs per day. I was going to scroll, but it's on the other side. Because you get 20 biometrics of theirs per day, it's very, very easy to tier 2 them once you get them to 6 stars. So it would be a massive waste to use a Mega Tier 2 ticket on Magneto, Invisible Woman, or Psylocke. But on the other hand, it might be a good idea to Mega Tier 2 one of these crystal cost characters if you don't want to spend the crystals. Now, you do need to make a little bit more of a decision, and you do need to research it a bit more, because if you can get, you know, if you get a little bit lucky, even if you get unlucky, you can spend between 3,000 and 4,000 crystals repurchasing the pack to get the character to tier 2. Whether the Mega Tier 2 ticket that you have is worth 3,000 or 4,000 crystals, that's up to you. Some people got them cheaper from the Cosmic Core event. Some people always buy that 8,000 crystal Mega Tier 2 pack and get 4,000 back. But in terms of the difficulty of obtaining these characters, I really do think it goes from left here to right. You do get, you know, between 1 and 3 biometrics of these characters per day, so you can farm them up. But there are other ways of getting these characters through some certain events sometimes. Now, we've really only seen events for Colossus at this point, but I do keep that in mind for the faction battles. Bioprocessors, you really could say, like, you could move bioprocessors and put them basically on the same line as shifter bios, because you could spend all of your resources from the shield lab and get 0 Nova bios on a particular day, just like you could go and play the mission and get 1 biometric or 0 for a certain shifter. But in general, you can get more bioprocessor biometrics faster than shifter bios, which makes the bioprocessor characters less rare. Additionally, these characters, specifically, at least the, well, 3 of them, they have their own purchasable packs in the shop for real money, which again makes them expensive, but doesn't necessarily make them that hard to get. Whereas even if you're only spending $10, you're gonna have to wait a whole month to get some of these characters, to get enough biometrics for some of these characters. So the cost is important, but it's also how easy they are to get, and then how good they are. None of these bioprocessor characters at this point are very good. X-23 is probably the best, but she's not going to fall too much further than like Sabretooth and Iceman. So again, value moving left to right and up and down is a really important factor to consider. So with that being said, hopefully this list has helped you guys decide who you're going to Mega Tier 2 next. If you don't like the list, or if you think there's something I can improve about it, please hit me up down below in the comments to let me know what you think and give me some advice or some suggestions. Let me know what you want to see next on the channel. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you later today. Take care.